to come this way a little bit, bud. Okay, hey guys, I did not think that I would be filming this one as soon as I am. I thought it was going to take a couple of weeks for this box to get here, but it showed up miraculously on Friday. This box here is from Book Outlet and is full of books that I decided to purchase while I was high. We usually go in Canada and it helps with my anxiety sometimes when I can't sleep at night. So it was a late Saturday night. I partook in the Devil's Lettuce more than I probably should have. And I'd been watching Chris Clemens, and one thing led to another. I will say I had the wherewithal to put the right address because apparently the last time I ordered from Book Outlet, which is like rare, was when I was living in St. Catharines, Ontario, which was a good at least 5 years ago at this point. It was addressed to my dad, so he was very confused when the delivery person showed up and was like, "Hey Peter, have a package for you." And it turned out to be a huge ass box of books that he didn't order for himself. I actively avoided looking at anything after I placed the order. I saw one book accidentally and I was like, well, I totally didn't remember ordering that, so that's great. So this is gonna be an adventure for you and me. I have a couple ideas, like a couple vague memories of things that I decided like that looks like a good idea at the time. For anybody who doesn't know what Book Outlet is, it's just like a place where a lot of overstocked books go and you can buy them for really cheap, which is part of the reason I chose this for this kind of video. Sis is not spending $500 on like 10 bucks. I will still be disinfecting the books that are inside, but I left it in our den to, you know, for germs to die, basically. This is my first time doing a haul on my channel, and it feels kind of strange because that's sort of antithetical to who I am as a YouTuber. I used to be the minimalist booktuber, but I'm trying to support my industry during trying times, and I just felt like buying books, to be quite frank. So here we are. I'm gonna ignore this little paper that probably has a list of books that I bought. Okay, we're gonna start. I'm just gonna pull it. This is called Tell Me You Love Me. It's a novel. I think I bought it. I'm gonna try to surmise why really fucking high page would have bought this book. I think it's because it looks like it's some kind of literary fiction. It has that kind of cover. Oh, also Taylor Jenkins reblurbed it. That makes a lot more sense now why I would pick this up. Okay, so this is exactly what it sounds like, and I totally understand why I ordered it. And actually, as I just finished Normal People, this might be a great read for me. The little blurb at the top says, "Everyone remembers the one. No, not that one. The other one, the wrong one. The one you couldn't let go of, the one you'll never forget." So this is about two college students who meet each other and aren't meant to be together, but they have a very complicated relationship. Sounds great. I will be reading this. I don't think I heard of it before. I genuinely think this was a cover purchase. This one, completely understandable. I've been seeing this around for a very long time, and I almost bought it when I was in New York last year, but I didn't end up purchasing it. It is You Know You Want This by Kristen Opinion, I think is her last name, and this is a series of short stories that examines like power and gender and class, and like it sounds like exactly the sort of thing I would want to read. So far we have literary fiction and we have short story collection, which is also something I don't read a lot of, but okay, I've heard of this one. We've heard of this one book. Okay, next, Love from A to Z. This is a YA contemporary romance. Sajid really likes it, and that is definitely why I picked this one up. I think my other friend from my college publishing program also really liked this book. I saw it on her Bookstagram, so I picked this one up because I heard other people were talking about it. I am not at all displeased by this. I hardly read YA contemporary. I just saw oh no. Oh, of course, I ordered this. Oh my god. Okay, to preface why I have this book. Oh my god, I can't believe I bought this. When I was a teenager, I really liked Meg Cabot. Like, really, not the Princess Diaries series, her other books. Like, the Mediator series was the fucking shit. And this book that I'm holding in my hands was also one of my favorites. Like, I reread this book so many times. The freaking adaptation of this book is horrible, and it does not stand to what I want it to be, and I want to reread this, like, right now. It is Avalon High by Meg Cabot. This book is a King Arthur retelling in high school, but it's not from King Arthur's perspective, it's from the Lady of the Lake's perspective. I'm pretty sure. That's like a spoiler, but this book is old as hell. I have a copy in Barbados, I'm pretty sure it's still on my shelf down there, but now I have a copy up here too, and I will definitely be reading this. I've been rereading a lot of things, more than I usually do, and I think it's just like the comfort of going back to something you already know, and that just brought me so much joy. Okay, what the fuck? I do not remember ordering this. This is so weird. It feels like it's another person that's picking up books for me. Some of them I do remember. Some of them I had like a logical thought process when I was like, this makes sense, I'm ordering this. Wishful Drinking by Carrie Fisher. I've already read this book. I read this 2 years ago now, I think. I was still in school when I read it. It was right after watching The Last Jedi, because that's when I got into Star Wars, like actually got into it, because my dad was always into it and tried to get me into it, tried to make me sit down and watch the movies, and it never clicked for me, even though it was like a lot of things that I would genuinely like. But then finally I sat down and watched everything because he wanted me to go to the newest film with him, and then I obviously became obsessed and I read both of her memoirs, and I guess I liked both of them, so I guess I just saw this one on the site and it was really cheap. It was probably like $3 or something, and I was like, you know what, I want a physical copy because I borrowed this from the library. Oh, what did I order next? Oh, okay, this is cute. I'm glad. You can probably tell from the back of the cover what this is, but it's The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I've also already read this. I read this back when I was living in Brampton in my like gap year between uni and my grad program. This is about a girl who becomes a dog walker because her dad has a political scandal, and I think there's like a famous author who's a teenager, I think. Yes, Clark. So I think this is my favorite Morgan Matson book because I read all of the ones that were out at the time back in my gap year. Like I read all of her books over the course of the summer, and they're like the perfect summer YA read. They sort of remind me of the books I used to read when I was a teenager, and since this is my favorite one and it was probably on sale, here we are. Okay, this one was the one that I saw accidentally while I was like looking at shipping and stuff to see when the package was going to arrive. I was very confused when I saw it because I totally didn't remember ordering it until that point, but this is Younger. I just finished binging the show. I don't think I spoke about it when I was talking about the Bold Tip in another video recently, but I recently got Amazon Prime and I've been watching like all the TV shows and stuff, and this was on it. My mom really likes it. If you don't know, like the premise of the show, which is what I know, is a 40-something woman gets a divorce and wants to like restart her life, and then she pretends to be 27 years old to get a job in publishing because nobody wants to hire her for an entry-level position at her age. We could get into the real issues of why she would not be hired for an entry-level position, etc. But this is supposed to be like a fun, lighthearted video. I didn't realize the show was based on a book. I very clearly saw that it was a book and was like, holy shit, I just finished this entire like season whatever. I was on 6 or something. Let me buy this and read the book it's based on. I'm just gonna stop saying I don't remember ordering it because it's genuinely true. I don't know what this one is about other than it's about one of the characters we meet in Summer versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, Leah. I think she's bi. So we're always here to find fiction to relate to. This is great. This I remembered also ordering because I was very excited when I saw it on the list of books I was scrolling through. I think I went through like 3 different categories. This is by the author of When the Moon Was Ours. I was very excited for this one when I heard it was coming out, and then I just never got around to it. I feel like this is supposed to be a fairy tale adaptation of, is it like Snow White or something? This mentions swans, and all that is making me think of is The Swan Princess, which is another bop of a film that I used to watch a lot when I was younger, so I might have to rewatch that again. I also remember putting this one in the cart and I questioned my choices. All of these are such questionable choices. I can't tell if this is fiction or non-fiction from the back of the book, so I might just have to figure it out as I read. I might have to do a little bit more research. Author's note says all this stuff really happened, so this will be an interesting read. I love reading books about like relationships and complications and stuff. I don't know, that's just like one of my like topics that I like reading. I don't care if there's like romance and fantasy books and stuff, but I will read a lot of contemporary literary fiction about romance for it. I don't know why. This one, also not a surprise because I've been meaning to read Mary H.K. Choi for a minute since I saw her at Y'all Fest in like 5 million years ago at this point it feels like. I think this is her first book. This book is about 2 people who are like messaging each other, I'm pretty sure. I know a couple people who have read this and not really liked it, so I'm interested to see, like, get to this eventually and read it. But again, I've been picking up a lot of contemporary books, I've realized. So this next book, I've read the author before, Maureen Gu. I read her in another 24 hours of reading video that I did a couple years ago at this point, I'm pretty sure. I think that one was called I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and it sort of like has inspiration for K-pop and like K-drama, which I really enjoy because I've been watching K-drama since I was like 14. Somewhere Only We Know, I'm pretty sure there is a K-pop star in this one. It sounds like every other fanfic I used to read when I was a teenager, so 100% here for this. I really like her writing style. She sort of, it's like very quick reads. Like I could sit in my bed one morning and completely read her like entire book, which is why I apparently bought a second book. I bought The Way You Make Me Feel, which was her second book actually, because Somewhere Only We Know is her third book. This one is about a girl who gets in trouble and ends up having to work at her dad's food truck. Wow, you can tell I wanted to read this because I remembered off the top of my head what the synopsis was for this one. My neighbor's about to come out and have a smoke and see me talking to you guys. It's fine. He knows I'm weird. We have a whole relationship going on where he has his smokes and sees me doing weird things for work. The final, I believe this is the final book. Nope, I have more books in here, y'all. How many books is this big? I think The Crown's Game is the first book in this series. Did he go to get his fucking roommate so they could both watch me film a video right now? The Crown's Fate is the second book in The Crown's Game. I don't know if that has like a specific series name, but I read that one like 2-3 years ago at this point, and it is set in Russia, Imperial Russia, and there's these two magicians and they're both fighting. Can't remember exactly why, if it was for like one job or there's a reason they're fighting. One of them has to die for the other to win, and they're both in love with each other, which is just exactly the kind of YA fantasy books I was reading at the time. This is the follow-up to that. I'm pretty sure, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm pretty sure something pretty big happens at the end of the first book, which usually is what happens in a series between books. Okay, it feels like there's 2 more books, and these better be the last fucking books. How did I order so many fucking books? I apparently really like Meg Cabot. I don't remember liking this book as much. Like, Avalon High made sense because I liked it. This is like, I've read this like twice, maybe. I reread all of my books when I was a teenager because like I was not out here buying a lot of books and our libraries weren't that great. I guess I'm gonna do a Meg Cabot video now and read these books together because what the fuck? She saved the President of the United States from an assassination attempt, and the president's son might be in love with her. This sounds great. This sounds like a fun read. This makes me want to watch. There's a bunch of movies, I'm pretty sure, about like not just princes but like president's sons who pretend not to be who they are, and then there's like girls who are like quirky, and I'm not that kind of girl. I'm like cool and spunky. And yeah, this sounds like it's gonna be exactly that kind of book. Okay, this was a genuine surprise. What the hell? I can't believe I ordered 2 Meg Cabot books. It feels like I'm 14 again. And this final, oh, okay. Go me for picking up some actual interesting book. The Refrigerator Monologues by Catherine M. Valenti. It's basically about the women in comic books, right? Yep, from the points of views of the wives of girlfriends of superheroes. I will definitely be reading this one pretty soon. This could have been my fucking potions book for L's. I could have had 5 L's, and I only have 4, and now I'm okay. But I'm very excited about this one. This is always like, this is like one of those books you just have on your like general TBR that you know you have to read it because it's impacted like culture so deeply. So now I need to count how many books this is because this feels like, I thought I was gonna have like a week, like 10 books maximum I thought was what this is gonna be. Okay, so we have 16 books. I was originally gonna do a follow-up video to this one being like reading the books I bought while I was high because I thought that would be really funny, and I thought it was gonna be like 10 books. But with 16, I think I'm gonna do like a 4-part series. This is like 4 months worth of reading for me. I cannot read more than 4 books a month. I'm gonna figure out how those vlogs will look and when I'm gonna read all 16 of these books. So yeah, you guys should let me know if you have any fun purchases that you've bought while under the influence. It doesn't technically have to be the devil's lettuce. It could be drunk, because when I was drunk last year, I bought an elliptical. I would say somebody should take away my cards, but like, I know the numbers by heart at this point, so that's not very helpful. Let me know if any of these are on the top of your list that I should read first for the vlogs that will be coming out after. I think I'm just going to do a bunch of weekend vlogs for like a month and just strictly read these books on top of everything else I'm doing. Anyway, I'll see you guys when I see you. Enjoy the video. Don't do this. Don't do this unless you like get joy out of like seeing like the random choices you would make. I'll see you guys later because right now I have to go find somewhere to put 16 new books.